Most immigrants are constantly being exploited by the employers. It is difficult for most immigrants to find proper documentation to help them fight their legal battles. Juntos provides such immigrants with the necessary platform needed to help them fight their battles legally.
My name is Jasmine Rivera. So Juntos is a Latino immigrant community organization, and so I'm a community organizer as well as my coworkers. We do have people who come to the office looking for assistance on multiple issues. It's a wide array of issues that they come here for. Most of the time, we're going to refer them to professionals who are trained to handle those issues. Oftentimes people are looking for lawyers because they have to fight a case, whether it's an immigration case or a criminal case or family court. Sometimes people need help with utilities. Sometimes they need help with benefits. Maybe they're in a situation that's dangerous. So once again, depending on what their issue is, if we can't handle it, if we're not trained to help them in that situation, then we're going to refer them to an organization or to an individual who is, one, trained, two, speak Spanish, and three is we've worked with them in the past, and we know that they're trustworthy and they're not going to rip off our community members. We work in a political model. We're looking at the systems that are in place in this country, and we figure out, we come up with campaigns. In those campaigns, we decide what are the end goals, and then we come up with a strategy to achieve that end goal. So, for example, the number one issue that's facing the majority of our community right now is deportations. Obviously, someone being deported is going to change your life a lot. It's very difficult to be able to focus on raising a family, focus on your job, focus on becoming a homeowner if you're constantly afraid that one day you're not even going to be in this country anymore. And not to mention, many deportations lead to the separation of families. So that's the number one issue that we're working on. Not the only issue, but the number one issue that we work on. And so, how do we stop deportations? Obviously, that's gonna have to go through the government, because it's the government doing the deportations. Our community it's mixed status. We work with people of all different immigration statuses. Some are citizens, some are residents, some have DACA, some are undocumented. But we work with everyone. Obviously, it's going to be more difficult to obtain a job when you're undocumented, because a lot of jobs have certain requirements. And if you're not able to show certain documents like a social security number or an ID from this country, they may not be willing to hire you. Other jobs may actually prefer that you don't have any of these documents, and unfortunately, sometimes those kind of situations can be abusive. So there have definitely been people who, because they're undocumented, because their employers knew they're undocumented, their employers were exploiting them. They were paying them less than they deserved, weren't giving them any benefits, weren't giving them any time off, and just overall treating them really badly. So unfortunately, the way that the society is structured, the way most jobs are structured right now, without those kind of of documents, without those kind of papers, it is hard to obtain a job that's going to treat you well or maybe pay you more. At the end of the day, like we were saying, immigrant rights are human rights, and workers' rights are human rights as well. So we believe that no one should be abused, that everyone should be treated with respect, and that transfers over into the workplace as well. So we're gonna be fighting for everyone, no matter what their status, that they are at a job that treats them well and pays them what they deserve. Not to mention, when someone's undocumented, like I was mentioning before, there's that constant fear, that always looking over your shoulder, of, one day, is this the day? Is this the day that someone's going to ask me about my immigration status? Is this the day that people are going to find out? Am I going to get arrested? Am I going to get deported? And so we do see that there are a lot of community members that, if they are in an abusive situation, they know that's not the way it should be. They know that they deserve better, but they'd rather continue to be in that situation than report it, because they're afraid that if they report it, then people are going to start asking about their immigration status, and they're going to end up getting into a process of deportation. So that's another aspect